Now, if you live in Auckland, you may wish to enter this trolley derby, but if you don't, you still may wish to make a trolley because they are a lot of fun. And that's what I'm here for today, so come and join us. Hi there, Sam. How's the trolley feel? Good. Comfortable? Yep. Seat not too bumpy? Well, Sam is sitting in a prototype trolley designed by a mate of mine, Tim Stevenson. And this is the type of trolley that the Watnow team will be racing in Auckland. Now, it's a wee bit more complicated than your average trolley, but if you want to make a trolley just for fun, then we'll be giving you a few hints on how to make it this morning. But if you want to make a trolley to race in Queen Street, then you'll have to follow certain specifications, and here they are. Trolley measurements: maximum length 2.4 metres, maximum width 90 centimetres, minimum width 75 centimetres. And remember that the trolley floorboard must be one continuous wooden board. And if you're going to fit a body, then you need non-metallic materials with no dangerous projections or sharp edges. Well, that's looking good, Mike. Yep. Nice and smooth? Yep. Well, let's get started. Now, if you want to make a racing trolley, then you'll need a number of things. First of all, you'll need 4 wheels. You'll also need a box or enough timber to make a box to sit in. You'll need a braking assembly with an old piece of car tyre and some hinges and a piece of wood and some rubber. You'll also need some paint to paint up the trolley and some cardboard or core flute to make the body with. You'll need various nuts and bolts and nails. You'll also need a couple of axles and some strong timber to make the framework. And that's what we'll start first with. We'll start making the framework. Well, what I've got here is a continuous plank, and this will form the basic framework of the trolley. Now, the longer the trolley, the stronger this plank will have to be. But if you're just making a trolley for fun, then perhaps you can get away with a less stronger piece. Right, make sure that you smooth all the edges off on this larger plank, and that's for safety reasons. And you'll notice at the front of the trolley, I've drilled a large hole to hold this bolt, and this will be for the pivot assembly of the steering, which I'll show you later on. Right, well, what I've got down the back of this framework is a solid piece of timber to hold the back axle on. And you will notice that I've put an extra nut on these bolts. We've bolted it in 3 places, and the extra nut is to stop the whole trolley from rattling apart, especially if you're racing it down Queen Street. Now, on top of this, we'll put the axle. Now, this axle here, I bought in a hardware shop, and they're about $11 each, but you might have someone who can make one for you or get one off an old pram. So, all we have to do is to bolt this into position. So, Sam and Michael, would you like to screw that on? You know? Now for the front assembly, what I have done is attached this axle to a piece of wood that's been smoothed off around the edges. And to the front, this is a useful device, it's a little saddle clamp which can hold the axle on. Now in the very centre of this, I've drilled a hole which will fit over that bolt at the front end of the trolley. But before you fit it on, make sure you have a washer in between so that the front assembly will pivot around nice and easily. And again, 2 nuts onto that bolt just to keep things nice and tight and stop things from rattling apart. Now for the wheels. In the racing specifications, these wheels have to be of a solid rubber variety. Now, we bought these for $9 each. Now, you may have to shop round to get some cheap wheels, but if you're making a trolley just for fun, then you might find some of these sorts of wheels. That's off an old pram, and this one happens to be off an old scooter that I picked up in an auction room. Now, to attach the wheels, if you have a look here in the specifications and notes, just simply push the wheel onto the axle, putting a washer in between, and use one of these, which is a little split pin, through the hole in the end of the axle, and just spread that out. Now, I'll just put these wheels over here for Sam and Michael to attach later on. And now for the seating part. Now, you can use some new timber for this and make yourself up a box with 2 sides and back. and just simply screw that together. Make sure it's nice and smooth. Or, if you're making a trolley just for fun, you can use a wooden box like this, or use the old trusty bear crate. Okay, we're halfway through making this trolley, and when we come back, I'll show you how to finish off. But in the meantime, don't race your trolley because you haven't got any brakes.
Hey, cat!
Right, here are the wheels. If you and Mike and Sam, you can put those wheels on. Well, we're halfway through the trolley construction, and what we want it to look like is a trolley like this. So it's nice and safe to race in the What Now Pepsi Trolley Derby. And we've got a wee bit of work to do on the bodywork and the braking system, and that's what I'm going to show you how to make right now. Now, racing trolley specifications say that you must have a drag brake that must touch the ground and it must be foot operated. Now, to do this for our trolley, we've bolted on a footrest up near the front steering assembly, and to this we've taken another piece of wood that will pivot on an old door hinge, like that, and onto the bottom of that we've added a piece of car tyre, which you can cut with a hacksaw blade out of an old tyre, and this will be bolted underneath like that. Now, so that the whole assembly won't sort of drag on the ground, you'll need to come up with a little device with an old tube or a piece of rubber to pull it up again, spring it up again. Hi Sam, how's the trolley feel? Comfortable? Thanks very much. I'll just hold it while you get out. Okay there? Tight squeeze. Well, we've got two things to finish off this trolley. We've got the finish off the steering mechanism and the body. Now, for the steering mechanism, I've used a nice strong piece of rope. I'll just show you how that works. You want nice direct control on the trolley itself. And for the body, two things to remember. One, make it nice and streamlined so that the trolley will go faster. The other thing, the regulations say you cannot have anything made out of metallic material because it can be quite dangerous, all the sharp edges. Now, in this case, we've made this body out of a material called core flute, which is like a plastic corrugated cardboard. And of course you could use cardboard if you wanted. And we've just painted it all up with the stencils, but the important thing is that you can be creative in inventing your own body type. That's the fun of it. But if you do want to stick to this design and this body shape, we've got them here in these plans and trolley regulations for the trolley derby. And if you want a copy of these, then send a self-addressed envelope to Trolley Plans, What Now, P.O. Box 1945 in Christchurch. So there you have it, the completed trolley, all ready for the trolley derby. Well, I think the only thing to do now is to take it for a test run. Got the helmet on all right, Mike? That's good. Now, just a point about safety when you're racing trolleys, it might pay you to have at least 2 jerseys on like this, like Michael has, a pair of gloves and some elbow pads if you've got them. This will stop all the scrapes and bruises on the road in case you do fall out of the trolley. And of course, a helmet. So, should we take it for a run, Mike?
Yeah.
Okay, let's take it for a Bill. You ready?
Yep.
Get started. Go.